Alrighty then, I guess I'll do something a little bit different from my usual take and do a TNA pay-per-view, because this one's actually quite worth talking about. Slammiversary 10. This was a very interesting show to say the least. This is basically them celebrating 10 years of TNA. This is basically where TNA, basically 10 years of TNA, TNA's 10th birthday, and this is also supposed to be the part where TNA created their Hall of Fame. Now I'm probably gonna forget a couple of things here, but this was kind of scattered on. But they revealed that like the top 3 moments of TNA or whatever, and all those other things. 3 was AJ winning the X Division title for the first time, and I thought that would have been number 1. Number 2 of all things was Hogan signing on to TNA, and number 1 I believe was Sting making his return. I guess people love Sting, which probably explains the TNA Hall of Fame first entrant. Everyone with the crowd there, everyone thought it was going to be AJ Styles, and you could just hear everyone AJ Styles, but it turns out it's Sting. For what he's done, that's reasonable. It's just that I would think for a first inductee, it would be Mr. TNA, which for me is AJ Styles. Something interesting about where they showed the number 1 moment of all TNA-ness. When they were bringing that out, someone came out. Christian Cade. Now, this makes me wonder, how the hell did he sign off on this? He's the fucking Intercontinental Champion in a feud with Cody Rhodes right now. So how the hell did WWE allow him to go to a TNA pay-per-view? This stunned the hell out of me. I gotta see where Christian is gonna be going after this. Because I gotta wonder, like, did they really let him, or did he go past what they said? But anyway, the show started off with Hogan basically announcing a match, which was Samoa Joe versus Austin Aries for the X Division Championship in the opening. Now they actually openly said that the X Division, like, it had a new weight limit, which is kind of against the reason of the X Division. You know, it's not about weight limits; it's about no limits. Bullshit. But yeah, apparently they circumvented that for Samoa Joe. This match between Austin Aries and Samoa Joe, it was pretty good. It was one of the best openers I've ever seen to a pay-per-view in a long time. Yeah, it certainly beats, the openings of WrestleMania. It was, I'd say it was a great match, but it wasn't like that standout, epic match. It was still just a really cool match between 2 guys who knew how to work. Austin Aries and Samoa Joe both looked great. This was a very physical match. Like, it was very strike-based for what they were doing the entire time. And you got to give credit for both Austin Aries and Samoa Joe. They took some of the stiffest shots I've ever seen, and they just kept going. Your winner and still X Division champion, Austin Aries, he won by hitting Samoa Joe with a brainbuster, and damn, it looked like a stiff as hell brainbuster. But damn, this was definitely a good match. Like, a good way to make Samoa Joe and Austin Aries look great. Alright, no complaints so far. The next match was Hernandez versus Kid Kash. This is apparently Kid Kash's return. This match was good. Like, it definitely had some really surprising moments, like the over-the-top rope jump that Hernandez tends to do. That was really amazing. And also, Kid Kash had some pretty damn good moments, too. The match wasn't incredible. Like, there's nothing truly memorable about it except for, again, Hernandez jumping over the top rope. But it kept the crowd's interest, and it, again, built up the pay-per-view as it progressed. So, no complaints. Hernandez wins in a short but pretty good match. The next match was Devon, who I believe is the TNA television champion, and Garett Bischoff versus Robbie E and Robbie T. I never even fucking realized Robbie T was Rob Terry. Match was alright. You could tell they wanted to get Garett Bischoff over. He was not over with the crowd at all. They were chanting, "You can't wrestle." The entire reason people actually popped when they had the entrance was because of Devon. Devon got the crowd back into this match. Like, they weren't into it for a while, but Devon actually managed to get them into it. Devon and Garett Bischoff beat Robbie E and Robbie T in an alright match. I would actually not call this a bad match, and that's something about this pay-per-view that's actually very impressive. Much like Over the Limit just a few weeks ago, there really were no bad matches on this card, and that says something. The next match could be considered one of the best matches of the year. Mr. Anderson, Rob Van Dam, and Jeff Hardy were in a triple threat match to decide who would be the #1 contender for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Triple threats are like tigers. If you know how to take care of them, they could be a truly amazing thing. But if you don't know how to handle it properly, it could end up biting you in the face. But this is actually a really great example of a triple threat match done right. It's very difficult to have interaction between 3 people all at once, but they did it consistently through attacks that used the other guys as weapons. They used... This match was full of just those moments where you would dodge one attack but get hit by another. You would miss one guy but then hit the next guy. 2 guys would be outside, and then Jeff Hardy gets on top of the top rope and goes to hit a splash on them on the outside. This match was really fast-paced. Actually, it could be argued that this was a very X Division style match, because even with the slower styles of Rob Van Dam and Mr. Anderson, this was still really, really fast-paced, and the crowd got into it. Super got into it, and you could tell they love this match. I love this match. I would have to say, there are 2 matches on this card that, for me, are number 2 and 3 for matches of the year so far. I don't think any of these matches are better than Undertaker or Triple H at WrestleMania, but Mr. Anderson versus Rob Van Dam and versus Jeff Hardy, this comes close because this was a damn good match. Mr. Anderson beats Rob Van Dam with a mic check after a pretty cool ending sequence, and I gotta see where they're going with this. The next match was basically Crimson coming out and offering an open challenge. You could tell the crowd did not like Crimson. Not necessarily in the good heat kind of way, but more like they know he's full of shit, that he can't perform that well. But damn, that crowd, they fucking popped once they heard, "Sorry about your damn luck." And out comes James Storm. The match is really, really short, but damn, it got the crowd hyped. James Storm wins with the super kick. The Crimson's pointless streak is over, and it's won by James Storm. So I got to see where they're going with James Storm next. Maybe this is going to lead into a feud. After all, Crimson being mad at somebody ending a streak is actually a pretty good way to start a feud. So I got to see where they're going with this. All throughout the night, they kept doing different interviews with people. I didn't really list any of them, but they were all pretty cool in their own way. Like, the only one that I thought was kind of poor was Crimson's, but Christopher Daniels and Kazarian had a really cool smug type of promo. Bully Ray had a pretty funny promo where he got the entire Texas crowd against New York, which in my opinion was actually pretty funny. And Bobby Roode managed to pull off a pretty good promo that actually got the crowd pretty much against him in a good way. Next match, and what I think would probably be considered the worst match of the night, was Miss Tessmacher versus Gail Kim. This match, it wasn't good, but it wasn't bad. It was that kind of hold you over match. In my opinion, the Tessmacher match should have been after the triple threat. Gail Kim and Miss Tessmacher, they put on an alright match. Nothing that spectacular. The ending sequence was actually kind of cool, but the match was a little too botch-filled for me to get really into. Miss Tessmacher wins, but it could be shown that Gail Kim could have won, because at one point, the referee was counting out Miss Tessmacher outside, but Gail said, "No, I'm going to pin her." But then when she tried to use Miss Tessmacher's own finishing move against her, she reversed it into a cradle, and Miss Tessmacher is your new TNA Women's Knockout Champion. So actually, there is quite a bit to go with this. This is actually a really good pay-per-view to see, stuff that's coming up ahead. I'm interested to see where they're going to do with Tessmacher and Gail Kim, because, this ending, it shows that this feud can continue, and there's ample soil to be plowed here. All right, match. Added enough to the card. It had its place. The next match was Joseph Park versus Bully Ray in a hardcore match. Now, if you don't know who Joseph Park is, he's basically supposed to be Abyss's little brother. So this entire match was basically kind of a bully versus guy who's been tossed around sort of thing. And they actually did a pretty good job of this. Bully Ray was really good in the role of it. And Joseph Park was kind of a good type of pathetic sort of role that kind of, he gets up and he wins in the end. Yeah. Joseph Park wins because at one point, Joseph Park goes under the ring and out comes Abyss. I'm assuming this is supposed to be revealing that, it's supposed to be some sort of Mick Foley sort of deal. Yeah, and Abyss comes out and he puts Bully Ray through a table, which is kind of funny because last time I remember it, Bully Ray, he kind of fucked up Abyss last time, didn't he? Joseph Park wins, Bully Ray is defeated, the crowd laughs. Next match. Remember how I said that number 2 and number 3 of my matches of the year were basically 2 of the matches here? Here's the other one. AJ motherfucking Styles and Kurt Angle versus Christopher Daniels and Kazarian. This was a damn good match. I was really disappointed with a lot of the work that AJ Styles and Daniels put together last year and earlier this year, but damn, this was a fucking great match that they put on. It was a bit spotty, but the moves they were pulling off, the way they were executing them, the pace they dictated through this match, it was all done so well. Kaz and Daniels got the proper amount of heat they needed. AJ was so over with this crowd. They were already popping for him earlier when they thought he was going to be the first inductee in the Hall of Fame, but damn, after all the stuff he showed in this match, the crowd absolutely adored AJ. Really, this match in quality is comparable to Kurt Angle, Edge, Chris Benoit, and Rey Mysterio from the No Mercy DVD that I've already reviewed, and man, it's pretty damn close. However, like that match and also like the RVD, Jeff Hardy, and Mr. Anderson match, it's just missing that one really striking, memorable moment and that ultimate feeling of satisfaction. But still, this is a damn good match. AJ Styles and Kurt Angle win. I think this could have gone on a little longer. Like, I'll admit, they're going to have a hard time topping this match, but I don't like the idea of Daniels and Kazarian losing their titles so fast. But still, I am very much interested in seeing where this is going to go, even though I'm not too big on the storyline with AJ Styles because I think it's a bit too personal. It's the sort of thing I'm not into, like, similarly to what they did with Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero in that ladder match situation. But still, I want to see where this goes because I want to see the next amazing match these guys have. So far, Slammiversary, I would have said, I'm going to say this now, even up to this point, totally worth the DVD purchase once it comes out. Totally worth a DVD purchase. But the main event, it was a good match, I guess. It's not Sting's best as far as I've seen. It's not Bobby Roode's best. But, yeah, Bobby Roode versus Sting. It was just kind of there, to be honest. I know the crowd was kind of amped after, they found out, oh, Sting's going to be the first inductee in the TNA Hall of Fame. But honestly, this isn't Sting's best work. The crowd was probably the best saving grace of this because they actually did really get into it. Whether you do may depend on how much of a fandom you have for Sting. But I honestly didn't really get into this match. The ending was a little too sloppy. How the fuck would the referee count the pin for Bobby Roode when there's very clearly a bunch of bottles of beer in the center? But, it was a good match, I guess. I wasn't bored at any point, but I wouldn't call this either one of these guys' best. The aftermath was actually kind of cool where Sting no-sold the bottle and, hit a Scorpion Death Drop off the apron onto a bunch of tables onto Bobby Roode. That looked pretty rough, but yeah, that was kind of cool. So final thoughts on Slammiversary number 10. Very, very good pay-per-view. I remember what I said. if you saw my WrestleMania review, you know how I talked about how that card was very poorly structured. This is a much better structured card. You know, you have a very fast opener that's very good, a bunch of matches that kind of calm the audience but still keep their interest and still keep them entertained. Then you get a couple of really knockout shots with the really, really good matches of Mr. Anderson, RVD, and Jeff Hardy, plus the later match with AJ, Kurt Angle, Kazarian, and Christopher Daniels. Plus with a lot of really nice surprises that, again, kept the audience into the pay-per-view and kept them entertained. How could this pay-per-view have been improved? Well, a better main event. There's not that really big striking moment. But you know what? There's a lot of entertaining wrestling. Just sitting down from beginning to end, it's a damn good experience. What would I give this? I would give this an 8 out of 10. There are certain things that could have been improved, but still very good. And in my opinion, this has been the best mainstream wrestling pay-per-view I've seen. Now, admittedly, I'm only referring to WWE and TNA, but still, better than Over the Limit, better than WrestleMania, better than Extreme Rules. My opinion has to count for something, and that's what I think. Definitely worth buying once it comes on DVD. This has been Mr. Sanders. Catch y'all later.